In the kingdom of Aurelia, the sky was not simply a sky. Its colors, sunrise gold, sunset rose, storm blue, moon silver, were woven each day by the hands of the sky weavers, an ancient order of artists whose threads were made from pure magic. As long as the sky weavers worked, the world stayed in balance. Storms knew when to sleep, winds remembered their direction, and stars appeared exactly when night called them. But a century ago, the sky weavers vanished. The sky began to fade slowly, its colors dulling like an old tapestry. And the people lived beneath a horizon that always seemed tired, as though forgetting how to shine. Only a handful believed the sky weavers would ever return. One of them was a quiet, 17-year-old girl named Arya. Arya lived in a small mountain village where clouds hugged the rooftops and winds sang through the fields. She was known for her gentleness, her curiosity, and her strange habit of staring at the sky for hours. She felt something calling her, something faint, like a memory she'd never lived. She often whispered, "Someone must mend the sky." Most laughed, some pitied her, but Arya kept looking up. One morning as Arya walked home with a basket of firewood, a cold wind suddenly swept through the valley, unlike any she'd felt before. Not sharp, but intelligent, purposeful. The wind swirled around her feet, lifting a tiny shimmering filament, a thread. It glowed pale blue and hummed with warmth. Arya blinked. Sky thread? The filament wrapped gently around her finger, like it recognized her. At that exact moment, a booming crack echoed across the mountains. The sky above tore, an actual tear, spilling white light like a wound. Villagers screamed. Children cried. Birds scattered. But Arya stepped forward, thread still looped around her finger. Inside her chest, something shifted, something powerful. And she knew. The sky was breaking, and the thread had chosen her. Arya climbed the highest ridge of her village, where the clouds touched the rocks like soft blankets. From there, she could see the tear in the sky widening, its edges trembling like paper. As she stared, the thread around her finger pulsed, tugging her toward a forgotten mountain path. Following the pull, Arya hiked for hours through thick fog until the path opened into a plateau she'd never seen on any map. In the center stood a massive circular frame of crystal and gold, the sky loom. Its spokes reached toward the heavens like fingers trying to catch stars. Arya gasped. The sky weaver's legendary loom had not vanished. It had been hidden, but it was broken. Cracked stones, faded runes, dead magic. Arya touched the outer rim. The sky thread glowed stronger. Suddenly, a low hum vibrated through the air. Mist swirled, light rippled. A tall figure emerged, an old woman wrapped in tattered robes the color of twilight. Her hair floated as if underwater. Her eyes shimmered with galaxies. She was not human. "Who are you?" Arya whispered. The woman replied, "I am Elindra, the last sky weaver." Arya's breath caught. The sky weavers vanished. "Destroyed," Elindra corrected, "hunted by the dark wind, a force born from human despair. When people stopped believing in beauty, the darkness grew hungry." Arya touched the glowing thread. "But this came to me." Elindra studied her with ancient, knowing eyes. "Because you are a weaver of heart, rare, born once in an age. Your spirit can shape magic through emotion, and only such a heart can restore the sky loom." Arya swallowed. "Restore the sky? Me? I don't know anything about weaving." "You know hope," Elindra said softly, "and hope is the root of all creation." For days, Arya trained at the abandoned sky loom under Elindra's watch. She learned how to listen to the wind as if it were music, how to touch the sky as if it were silk, how to breathe life into dull colors. Each sunrise, she practiced weaving threads, thin, shimmering lines that represented human emotions. Joy produced gold, grief produced silver, love produced rose, courage produced blue, wonder produced violet, but fear produced nothing. Whenever Arya's doubts overtook her, her threads evaporated into air. Elindra would watch quietly. "The sky reveals your heart. Heal the heart, and the weave will follow." Arya tried. More than anything, she tried. But the tear in the sky kept widening. swallowing clouds whole. And each night the dark wind grew stronger, swirling black storms over distant lands, feeding on fear. Time was running out. One evening the wind turned unnaturally still. Arya stepped outside the temple to see a massive, spiraling darkness approaching. The dark wind itself. Unlike normal storms, it did not roar. It whispered, "Little Weaver, you are not enough. You are small. You will fail." The words pierced her like knives. Arya stumbled, clutching her chest. Her threads flickered weakly. The darkness swirled closer, forming a face, shifting, shadowy, cruel. "You cannot mend the sky. You were not chosen. You were tricked into hope." Arya dropped to her knees. Her tears hit the ground. Elindra rushed to her side. "Arya, listen to me. The dark wind feeds on your doubt. Push back." "I can't," Arya whispered. "I'm not a sky weaver. I'm just me." "Exactly," Elindra said, gripping her shoulders. "And that is enough." But the dark wind struck. It hurled itself forward, a roaring black wave. Elindra threw up her arms, summoning a barrier of light. The impact shook the mountains. When the dust cleared, Elindra lay crumpled, breathing shallowly. Her twilight robes were dimming. Arya screamed, running to her. "Elindra! No!" The Sky Weaver's hand trembled as she cupped Arya's cheek. "You must finish what we began." "I don't know how." Elindra smiled softly, a smile full of trust. "Then weave. Your heart." Her light faded. The last Sky Weaver died. Arya shattered. Arya fell beside Elindra's still form, sobbing so hard she could barely breathe. The dark wind gathered above, swirling like a vulture. "See? Hope dies easily." Arya looked at the sky loom, cracked, broken, useless. Then she remembered Elindra's words. "Heal the heart, and the weave will follow." Her grief pulsed like fire, and suddenly a thread appeared. Silver. She gasped. Her pain had woven a thread, not from weakness, but from love. Arya rose slowly, tears still streaming, but her hands steady. She raised her voice toward the dark wind. "You're wrong." Threads began emerging from her fingertips, gold from her memories, blue from her courage, rose from her compassion, violet from her wonder. "All these feelings, good and bad, make me who I am. You don't get to decide my worth," the dark wind shrieked. Arya ran to the sky loom and began weaving furiously. Her threads wrapped around the broken frame. Golden lines mended cracks. Violet threads revived runes. Blue strands brightened the crystal spokes. The sky loom blazed to life, whole again. Arya tossed the glowing sky thread into the center ring. The loom spun, faster, brighter, louder. Thousands of threads burst into the sky, stitching up the enormous tear. Sunset colors returned, bolder than ever. Moonlight shimmered like melted silver. Stars ignited, each one singing softly. The sky healed. The dark wind screamed as light pierced through it, dissolving its form into harmless mist. The kingdom of Aurelia exhaled. Arya fell to her knees as the last thread settled into place. She was exhausted, trembling, drained. Then she felt warmth. The sky loom glowed gently, lifting her with soft light. A peaceful voice whispered, Elindra's voice. "You have done what none of us could, not because you were trained, but because you felt." Arya pressed a hand to her heart, tears falling again. But these ones were peaceful. The sky overhead shimmered with the most beautiful dawn Aurelia had ever seen, radiant gold fading into shimmering rose. Villagers across the kingdom stepped outside, gasping as color poured across the heavens. Children pointed, elders wept, and hope returned. When Arya descended from the mountain, the entire village waited. They looked at her, small, gentle Arya, and bowed. She shook her head. "Please, I'm no queen, no hero, A village elder approached, eyes soft. "No," she said, "you are a weaver of hearts, and because of you, the sky remembers how to shine." Arya's cheeks warmed. For the first time in her life, she looked at the sky not with longing, but with pride. Epilogue, Legacy of the Sky Weaver years past. Arya became the first Sky Weaver of the New Age. She rebuilt the Sky Weaver order, not with ancient bloodlines, but with anyone whose heart could feel deeply. Children who loved too strongly, adults who cried easily, dreamers who stared at clouds, quiet souls who carried both joy and sorrow. Under Arya's guidance, the sky became more vivid than ever in Aurelia's history. Sometimes at dawn, a strange silver thread drifted on the wind, a sign that Alindra's spirit still watched over the world she protected. And whenever shadows gathered again, Arya would climb the mountain, place her hands on the sky loom, and whisper, "Every heart can weave light," and the sky would answer with color. Moral of the story: your emotions, every one of them, are threads of light. When you embrace them, you can mend anything, even the sky. If Arya's journey inspired you, hit like, subscribe, and share this story. Your support helps us weave more magical worlds for you.